Hello everybody, my name is Brianna Bilo and this is your seasonal climate summary for summer of 2022. So that is the months of June, July, and August, beginning on June 1st and ending on August 31st. So going over our stories of the month for the season, we begin June, which is a monsoonal surge without a radar. So unfortunately in the month of June, our radar had to be taken down for some pretty significant upgrades and improvements and replacements of hardware, and unfortunately at the same time our monsoon season kicked off about 2 weeks too early. So we ended up having several rounds of strong thunderstorms that produced heavy rains, gusty winds, even some hail, all without our radar. So we did manage to keep on top of things using other types of observations such as satellite imagery and numerous ground reports from members of the public. Thank you. We couldn't have done this without you. We really appreciate everything that you do. And even when we do have the radar up, your ground reports are super important to what we do. And if you're willing to keep reporting, we are more than happy to keep using your reports. With all of this, we were able to keep on top of the storms during the period, and we did eventually get our radar back, and that frowny face got to turn to a smiley face. July's story of the month, we looked at heat and heavy rain. So we saw these monsoonal surges punctuated by shorter periods of relatively warm temperatures. So the increased moisture, the precipitation, the cloud cover during the monsoonal surges kept temperatures at normal or even a little bit below normal. But when all of that went away, we would see temperatures jump into near record territory for a couple of days, and even some spots across the area set new records during the month. But we also were setting rainfall records, especially the Pagosa Springs area was the big winner, where they would see daily accumulations of an inch or more for several days during the month of July. And as far as our August story of the month, we had the Moab flash flooding, kind of to cap off a long and stressful monsoon season. We had what was considered a 100-year flood event in Moab, so that is in any given year there's about 100th of a chance that this will happen, so it's a little on the rarer side, where we had some pretty deep moisture on the evening of August 20th in place, and we had also seen quite a bit of daytime heating across eastern Utah, which combined to fire off storms over the Mill Creek watershed. And they kind of just sat there for a while and dumped some pretty considerable amounts of precipitation. And so over the course of an hour, 2 rain gauges in Spanish Valley, a little bit further along in the watershed, actually registered between 1 and 2 inches of rainfall. And then this was followed by about 2 hours of lighter rain. And ultimately, all of this rainfall in the Mill Creek watershed combined to rise Mill Creek at the gauge by 11.5 feet in an hour. And this ultimately ended up flooding downtown Moab, including numerous businesses and homes in the area. This is downtown Moab in the middle of this flash flood event. And a little personal side note, if you had seen the August video, you know this already, but my mom actually called me as I was on vacation at the time to tell me, oh yeah, you remember that restaurant we ate at last time I was there? Yeah, that's flooded now. That was certainly something to have your mom tell you on a Saturday night. But moving on, looking at our high temperatures for the season of summer 2022, our warmest high was 104 in Canyonlands, which occurred on the 17th and the 22nd of July. And our coolest high was 89, which occurred in Aspen on the 17th of July. And the majority of high temperatures for the season occurred in July, with only Craig seeing its warmest high of the season in August. As far as our cool temperatures for the season, our warmest low temperature was 45 degrees in Canyonlands on the 2nd of June, and then also tied in Grand Junction on the 2nd of June and the 15th. Our coldest low for the month was 28 degrees on June 15th. in Craig. And as you can see, all of the coldest low temperatures for the season occurred in June. As far as precipitation, again, because this was a monsoonal pattern for the entirety of the season, whether you saw above or below normal precipitation really depends on where you were. And these are just 10 sites across the area that are a fairly small sample of what actually went on. So if you saw more or less where you were, that's just how the monsoon works. As far as with our 10 sites, we did actually see pretty equal distribution of above and below normal precipitation for the season, with Durango coming in as the big winner overall with almost 2 inches above normal, with a total for the season of just over 5 inches of precipitation. Vernal came in at the bottom with just over 1 inch of precipitation for the season, which was 3/4 of an inch below normal, and pretty much all the rest of these sites fell somewhere in between those in terms of both above or below normal as well as actual total precipitation. Looking at our fall 2022 drought outlook, so this is for the season of fall, so September, October, and November. CPC has the Four Corners area, so the southern half of western Colorado and eastern Utah, either seeing drought removal likely or drought remaining but seeing improvement, while the northern half of the area is looking at drought persisting. We'll have to keep an eye on that to see how things turn out, but we have already seen through the month of September some pretty significant precipitation events, so we may be on track to see that, but there's still 2 months left. As far as our temperature and precipitation outlook, despite seeing that signal for drought improvement in that outlook, we are also looking at CPC favoring above normal temperatures across the area and below normal precipitation. So these are only, the precipitation is only slightly favored to be below, so we'll see. As far as the temperatures are concerned, it's fairly strongly favored to be above normal, at least in central portions of western Colorado. Definitely something to keep an eye on. And that's that until next season with the winter summary. Hope you have a good fall. Enjoy it. Thanks.